Hello and welcome to the Classroom Professor Math Podcast. This program is designed to help you to prepare and teach mathematics more easily, efficiently and effectively, to truly engage your students in mathematical thinking and to develop their numeracy. G'day everyone, I'm Dr. Peter Price, co-founder of Classroom Professor. Welcome to episode 16 of the podcast. This week we're going to the ancient Roman town of Chester in England. I've done two pieces to camera on location, so they're coming up in just a moment. So this is just a brief introduction. I just want to highlight two topics that you could incorporate into your mathematics lessons and units of study and so on, wherever you live. And those are numeration. So you can incorporate a study of Roman numerals and how they used to record numbers. And of course, that system is still used today in some sort of fairly minor context, but we still use Roman numerals today, as of course you are aware. And the other topic is geometry and the study of tessellations, shapes that fit together to cover a two-dimensional space. The Romans did quite a bit of artwork in the form of mosaics made of ceramic tiles on floors or walls, and because they're so durable, they've lasted quite well. So you can connect that together with a study in a geometry class of tessellations. So with that brief intro, we'll get straight into the on-location pieces, and I hope you enjoy it. Standing in the ancient Roman town of Chester in the north of England, where there are a number of excavated Roman sites, including this one, which is the most impressive amphitheatre, the largest one in Britain, and when it was in its second larger form would have held over 7,000 spectators. Now this gives a wonderful opportunity if you are living in the UK or anywhere where you can visit Roman ruins, to make a connection between the study of history and many other subjects besides, including subjects like government and language and culture and all that sort of thing. But of course there's a lot of connections with mathematics as well. The Romans were an incredibly clever civilization, built absolutely amazing architectural constructions. They were engineers, virtually unparalleled, certainly at the time. Truly impressive people. There are lots of things that you could study. They had their own numeration system, which I'm sure you're aware of. And so one thing that we can study in school math classes is an ancient system of numeration of numbers and how they're written and recorded, and make connections and do conversions between the normal Hindu-Arabic numerals that we use today and the Roman numerals that we see in other places. And the reason we can do this, of course, is that Roman numerals still appear in many specialized settings. They're found on some clocks. They're used for numbering items in a sequence and so on. Another connection with the Romans is their use of small tiles to create pieces of art, mosaics and so on. And the word that we use in English, tessellation and tessellate, comes from an ancient Roman word meaning tile. And so children in English schools often do lessons to do with studying the Roman culture and Roman artwork and so on. So we can make connections there, and in a geometry class we can study tessellations, of course, and make another connection. So this is yet another example of a way of connecting maths with other topics, making it more interesting for students and connecting it with other parts of their world and their life. Standing on the site of part of the original Roman wall which surrounded Chester as a defence against its enemies, and this wall was rebuilt by other civilizations later on until the Civil War of the 17th century. as I said before, the topic of Roman history is something that you can connect quite neatly to a number of other subject areas in school, including mathematics. It would be possible to do a sort of Roman arithmetic just as a way of studying different numeration systems and to compare the base 10 number system that we have with the Roman system of numeration. So you could do Roman addition, Roman subtraction, multiplication, division. And I think what you'll find is that students realize how much more convenient the base 10 numbers are and how difficult it would be to use the Roman numerals. No doubt they did do arithmetic in the Roman system, but the base 10 system is so much more flexible and so much more efficient. So there we go, just a brief talk about how you can incorporate the study of the Roman culture and different aspects of ancient Rome in a modern day class. Now, if you live in Europe, of course you know that, and it's probably a part of your curriculum already, and when your students are studying history and government and architecture and engineering and all sorts of topics, if you make any sort of historical links, you'll obviously come across the Romans and incorporate that. I think this is just a fantastic, rich area of study that we can incorporate into our studies today, and mathematics has a nice part of that because the Romans were successful because they were well organized, they documented everything, they planned everything in great detail, unlike some of the societies they conquered. And mathematics would have been a very, very important part of that. You can't conquer another country without having, a careful analysis of what that country has to offer, their defenses, and so we can go on and on and on. Okay, so that's a very rich topic that you can incorporate into your studies with a nice place for math in the middle of it. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And that's something that you could study. So this is a nice way of connecting mathematics with other subjects. For many students, maths is not their favourite subject, as we all know, but this gives a richness to what they study in terms of adding to it a study of history and culture and technology and so on. Thank you for joining me on the Classroom Professor Math podcast. You can email me via peter@classroomprofessor.com or follow me on Twitter with the username peter_price. You can also visit our website at www.classroomprofessor.com to download free resources including the ebook 10 Minutes a Day Times Tables Worksheets. If you have enjoyed this podcast, please go and rate the show on iTunes. I look forward to speaking with you next time, and until then, goodbye.